And welcome to the pre-ramble, guys. It is now episode 163. And welcome to the pre-ramble, guys. It is now episode... As I just had my audio on my browser. Trying to get things figured out. So hopefully you can hear everything. John, say something, and Kathy, say something.
Something.
And I need
Hello.
to make sure I hit the record
Welcome
button.
More something?
More somethings.
Stuff where we talk.
And we do stuff. We're going to be doing a testing of stuff, and so we're now recording. By the way, our episode 163 on the pre-ramble. We're testing out some things, so make it a little bit easier so we don't lose things. And the recording is going.
Hey, Legionnaires. Legionnaires says, okay, this is really weird.
What's really weird, Legionnaires?
I was just checking my haircut in the camera, because, I mean... Actually, hold on. How's the back of my head?
Your back of the head's back of your head.
You never get to see that. Oh, yeah, it's got some spots that need fixing, huh, don't it?
Legionnaire says, on the Twitch app, it's a blank screen.
That's weird. On the PC, it's normal. Huh, that's weird. Well, we put up, what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be doing, like, starting soon and be right back. So that way we don't shut down the stream and everything. So after the pre-ramble, we're going to put our be right back.
Wait, I figured it out.
What?
It's because you don't want people voting twice or spending points twice to make you be normal.
No, y'all asked for this, so I'm doing this and making it easier on me.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
So, we got that going. So it should be okay. Let me open this up all the way so I can kind of look at stuff. How do we sound, by the way, Legionnaires and whoever else is in here? Yeah, is it just Kathy?
Yeah, it's the only one I see in there.
No, we got
We're the only
Bugglers
ones
and
that
John
matter.
Ninja and Carbon. Probably bots.
Oh, Ninja's there.
Oh.
What's up, Ninja?
Okay. We're just making sure. Because we're going to get so we can have some things make it a little bit easier on us. Instead of shutting the stream down, we'll just stop recording. And then we'll start recording again when we come back. Because, we record these and do audios and all that stuff.
So, yeah, on my app, I see our normal podcast. I just had to look, so.
Yeah, I think your app just didn't update, Legionnaires. It might be cranky like that.
Oh, well, we all know that the Android app for Twitch is garbage.
I'm seeing like a really big picture of my head as I'm trying to... I should
it's
just
really,
sit correctly.
It's really zoomed in on your face.
That's because I was sitting really close.
Compared to the rest of us. All two of the rest of us.
I sit in. So, let me go with my week. I got to play in another War Machine and Hordes tournament, Brawl Machine, this week, Saturday, which was pretty fun. Got to play 2, 4, about 7 or 8 games. Got to play my Infernals, which are not allowed, but they let me do them as long as I didn't do one thing, and I was able to do some really cool stuff. But it's going to be with the topic. Part of what our topic is going to be on the actual podcast today is we're going to be talking about building the community back post-COVID and also supporting your community in the correct way. Because another thing happened. I decided to post up. For everybody that doesn't remember, I did my little Yak Monk.
They can't tell. It's upside down, dog.
Here.
Upside
That's
down,
better.
Out of focus, because your background and foreground are
go.
all screwed up.
Yeah, for some reason, Twitch does not allow me to have my background. It like stutters the camera. And so I posted my Yak Monk up on a Reddit page for printed miniatures because this was when we printed. And I told them that I painted it all in contrast paint minus the base and a few small pieces on the model. And the post kind of blew up with this one guy tearing people apart for using contrast paint. And I was like, you're a dick. I ignore you. But everybody else tore into him. Um, can't fix my camera. People haven't paid yet.
Hey, Captain Mizzy.
So, yeah, Elijah, you are correct. But I mean, this is something that I was like, you know what? We probably need to do this because we're starting to open up a bit in certain places. And, it's probably a good idea to start talking about building community. So it's all everything. There goes Captain
But
Mizzy
that's the
already.
main body of the podcast.
Yeah, that's the main.
We're
But
at
that's
the ramble right now.
that happened. I did finish painting Omo today or like Thursday. And so I'll show him off when we go live because I finished painting him and based him and got him completely done. And then I'm working on the gate today. So, but I played a bunch of games. I bought a couple of miniatures. I bought the Sabretooth and Wolverine box and Cyclops and Storm box. Because I definitely will be playing some X-Men whenever the thing gets late.
Sabretooth
Yep.
and Wolverine?
Yep. Hey, what'd you put on bottom of Wolverine's foot? Nothing? Just put him on that step?
Yeah, just on a step. Works fine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do with mine.
This one took some, if you follow my hobby streak, it took some cutting, pinning, and a little bit of putty.
Yeah, I don't know what I may leave Sabretooth alone for a bit because I really kind of don't plan on using him.
I've defeated 2 tactical debris, tactical rocks in this case, because fuck tactical rocks. In case you were wondering. I also have defeated it on Bullseye, no tactical rock to be seen or debris, and on Taskmaster because this is what I fucking do. Defeat tactical rocks and debris for fun. Now, like Ant-Man and Wasp, the smaller versions and all that, like Wasp needed it to be flying. Sure, cool. That's a great, perfect thing for a tactical debris to make it easier to have him flying. And Ant-Man's tiny, so having something on that makes the base more interesting, not just a fucking little tiny guy in the middle of a blank base that would look dumb.
Yeah. You would put like a penny on there. I know people that put like a dime or a penny on there, and he was like running up the penny. And I thought that would be kind of neat.
So at the point where you realize you're going to put something on the base, unless you really go all in, I just went with what it's got. It looks fine.
Yeah. Just some people decide to do
take,
some other things to make it kind of different and unique.
Yeah, just take some astrogranite debris and put it around all of the tactical debris to make it blend more. So it's not just flat streets, chunk of debris, because nothing falls anywhere else.
Everywhere.
Oh, I have it all over like She-Hulk. Let's do this since we're
That's
looking.
a good idea to add a little extra rubble.
What the fuck am I doing? Hold on here. God damn it. It's almost like I don't have another camera. I can just fucking show you through a better picture. Jeez. Stupid John.
Stupid John.
No, just Ford.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
Shit that. And
Because
unfortunately,
I'm not mean.
I can't use the Logic capture to do this, Kathy, because
It's not a Logitech.
it's not a Logitech.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's
Hold on.
what I. Oh wow.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta move it.
He's braining as hard as he can, John Ninja.
There we go.
So, you see there's a bunch of debris around, and I painted a different color so you can sort of see where there is debris.
Yes.
And it goes a
I
little
like
bit up
it.
there. I actually do too. I'm actually
That's a good
thought
idea.
I was going to be pissed off at this base, but I'm not. Actually, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks better when you have more than just a rock.
I feel like that could be doing that to all of the bases moving forward. Could also kind of make them all look a bit more cohesive.
Yeah, so I did on these guys too. You can see anything where it's got any sort of tactical debris on it. I just went and added some of the astrogranite debris here or there. Sometimes on the flat bits too, just to break it up so it's not all flat, and just went crazy with it. So there you go. Skype.
So, let's see. What else did I do?
Settings. Video.
Talk to some friends I haven't seen in a year. What else? Hopefully
I talked to someone face to face today.
What?
What?
I know. I know.
Oh, you need to fix it again, Gonzo.
We were
Oh,
both
I gotta
wearing
restart
masks.
it.
And she was at the end of my
There it goes.
sidewalk dropping off something. And yeah, we just talked for like 15 minutes. And I was excited because that's the second time in the last bunch of months that I've really talked face to face with somebody that's not my husband.
Well, for
'Cause I
crazy,
haven't left the house.
next Saturday I actually have an in-person game.
You playing Marvel Crisis Protocol?
Yeah, I got to teach Petey how to play. So I'm gonna skip the barbecue joint for that day to make it easier on him, and then head over to his place and play a game.
Well, I know that so I'm going to put a call out to the masses. I'm looking for a pirate miniature game. Has to have boats.
Has to have boats.
Has to
So
have,
like a sea game, a sea
Yeah.
battle
it
game.
has to be pirates though.
So like a boarding game.
No,
There's
it's-
just blood and
I don't know if it
plunder.
does. Like literally, as long as you've got the boats as terrain, it's fine. We did a
No. This is boat combat, not boarding combat.
Oh, well, that's boring. Like, I'm sorry. Most boat games I've played are not super exciting.
Yeah. Legionnaires, Oak and Iron is the one I've been thinking about. That's what we kind of looked at. Mizzy and I were looking at different like pirate combat games, miniature games, and Oak and Iron was the one that we thought maybe the best. But I don't know those type of games that well, so I was going to
Just
put a
take your Battlefleet Gothic rules and switch it out for ships.
I did see a new Kickstarter called Flick Fleet, and it was kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody's seen that. You got these little ships that you put on there, and you flick them with your finger to make them move across the play area, and then to shoot at other ships, you flick the dice. And so, like, if you have to flick a D10, you flick the D10, and if it physically hits the ship, it actually hits the ship and does stuff. And it was actually pretty neat and interesting, but it was kind of expensive for what it was because it's from overseas. I was like, I wouldn't mind having just like the basic core and just sitting there, and because like you have D6s and you flick the D6s, you have to put them on the ship and flick them with your finger. And if you flick them too hard and they go like off the map, they don't count. So you can't, just like flick as hard as possible and hope. So it was interesting. I watched a little video on it. It actually looked like a good beer and pretzel type, sit around and bullshit.
That seems to me like the one where you're just shooting a penny across the table at each other when you're doing finger goal posts.
Yep.
At a bar.
Yep. That's
or
kind of what
folding
it was.
paper footballs and
Yep.
No comment.
Or what was it? I can't remember the name of the game, but I watched it at one convention. But you played cavemen, and the way you measured was your pinky to your thumb is how you measured. That's how far you could move and throw. And
your pinky to your thumb?
Yeah, so you hold your pinky and your thumb out like this, and that's how you moved.
Do you want ants? Because that's how you get
So
ants.
you have small hands.
19-month anniversary and DMY birthday woot woo.
Today is Captain Mizzy's birthday, by the way. She has finally reached the ripe old age of 21, so she can legally drink now.
Happy birthday, Captain Mizzy.
Happy birthday.
But also in the game, you weren't allowed to speak English. You had to communicate in like grunts and groans and caveman.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that.
I'm gonna continue with my no comments.
They were just silly. The people were playing it were having a blast, and I was enjoying watching them.
Make me start being a monkey.
Yeah.
They're all absolutely con games, but I never ever.
Nuh-uh. They're for fun games.
Yeah.
They're like I don't know.
All games are fun.
Or
If your
something.
game is
I
not
don't know,
fun,
but
it's not a game.
well, that's true.
Then it's work.
But it was interesting because they were talking about because they were trying to take down like a dinosaur, and the guy that was running it was the only one that he controlled the dinosaur, and it was just funny.
It reminds me of the old Game and Dragon magazine where you'd Play-Doh up your monsters and you'd fight, and all the abilities you give them in a base of a point scale would be like you pick up the monster and drop it or something like that, and whatever damage happens. Yeah, it's that sort of
I think my brother used
silly.
to play that.
Yeah, it's silly stuff. I would not back a Kickstarter for a game like that because that's asinine. Just get some easy 3D printed chips and flick dice around. That doesn't seem like it needs a whole game.
Yeah.
But it had some rules and everything to it. Now you could just buy like the STLs, so you could print off the stuff, which I could probably do that, and you could print off the cards and everything, which that wouldn't be a problem because I've got the printer to do it. But
that one game, Wooden Ships Iron Man.
Yes.
Okay, that's the game. That's a ship battle game.
Well, Legion, there's a bunch of guys played that in this area. I never got into it, but a ton of people played the old, cards, punch out the pirate ships, put them together, combat game.
Yeah, I remember when that was a long time ago too.
I just am wary of miniature games that are based around gimmicks or miniature type games like Disc Wars. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember Disc Wars.
Where we called it Pog Wars,
yeah.
Because basically all your units were discs and your movement was flipping the discs, and I was just like, nah, son, nah.
Yeah. I remember when that came out, I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, it was great because you could have your whole army and, a tiny little thing. Like, here's my whole army. Love the disc.
I have no idea what that
is. Or the
is.
Pog War Battletech, yeah.
Which my local store asked if anybody wanted to get into Battletech and was looking to get, if anybody's interested in it. I was like, you know what? I might do like the Inner Sphere. Because those little box sets that they have are only like $20 for like 5 or 6 mechs.
Or 4 or 5.
Yeah, depending on which.
Because it's a Lance or a Star, and that's how it works in the game.
I just couldn't remember how many. I just remember I was like, oh, it's like only like $20.
Do you want
Well, the Inner
ants?
Sphere uses
Because
Lances of
that's
4,
how you get
and the
ants.
Clan use Stars of 5. Each one's a point. Actually, I like the Clan.
Ninja, thank you for subscribing.
Thanks, John. At tier 2.
Thank you.
Man,
He went for
geez,
tier
John,
2.
Thank you. But yeah, so, I mean, I do love me some Battletech, I'll be honest. It's had a long and hard road back to coming out. I mean, you got they tried really, really hard to kill it with the Battletech clicky game. That was not bueno.
But
if you wonder why I'm not a fan of clicky games in general, that one started it, and then just the absolute. Like, I was around, I was working and a distributor when Mage Knight came out, and holy moly, that was a shit show.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it was crazy. So, always been a little wary of those games. So I never played HeroClix, even though I love superheroes. It's just, plus the models originally were really terrible. Some of the new ones were actually really surprisingly good.
Well, I watched a couple of videos of the opening of the box sets of the Battletech miniatures, and they look pretty decent. So I was like, oh, I could probably get those.
I got a bunch right over there.
They look pretty good.
Yeah, they look great.
Cool.
Right there with my Gullet Cove stuff that just came in from Steamforge. Some more dogs and cats as D&D characters, which is awesome.
So
apparently, Banyan is not interested at all, which is going to be unfortunate when that's my next game I run.
The dog and cat D&D.
Yeah, he's not interested at all. I'm like, all right, too bad.
What?
He's got no soul.
He's got no soul.
Could just be married to a redhead.
Oh. But I did watch quite a bit of things this week too, so I got a robust media section. So there's
I watched
that too.
2 things besides, Twitch. I
Watch the
watched Twitch. I streamed on Twitch. I played D&D streaming on Twitch yesterday. That was a lot of fun. That was my GaryCon event. So played in a GaryCon event, and it was super fun.
I did get and take out some of the pops some people bought me. Someone bought me Bumblebee pops for Christmas.
That's cool.
Finally, I did a Thursday. I spent my entire day cleaning up my hobby room and getting it reorganized and packed away and miniatures and all this other stuff done. So,
yeah, Rush, you're right. Steamforge is a bit of a hit or miss company, but they have a very diverse, let's say, portfolio right now, which means they're probably good because not everything's going to appeal to everyone. So they're going to have a wide variety of people buying stuff within the gaming community.
yeah, they're kind of an iffy subject right now. But, man.
I mean, this Kickstarter went well, and I got my stuff, and the book looks high quality. So, and it was all sealed, which makes me happy because the fuckers just dropped the package on my porch in the rain, like you do. Luckily, they use a very good box. That's one good thing about having a big company. They use a big box, and everything's sealed in plastic, which makes you double happy. So, Legionnaires of the Game is Gullet Cove. Is a D&D 5th edition add-on based off their Dungeons and Doggos and actually I think it's Dungeons and Doggies and Cats and Catacombs minis they made a while back.
Mizzy says I watched at least half of Bahubali today and then took a nap. So it was that riveting, huh?
Well,
or were you just that tired?
Hey, naps. I'm not going to argue with naps.
Ooh, I got barbecue today too. I haven't had barbecue in a while, but we got this new food truck barbecue place down the street, and I was like, yes. We went and got barbecue today, man, and I miss that. Some burnt ends, some wings, some brisket, some pulled pork, a turkey leg, some ribs. Oh, it was good.
I mean, maybe that's a lot to eat.
Well, I bought more than what I would eat at one time because I
can hope so. You have like 4 meals there, dog.
Well, it was like 2 pounds of brisket, 2 pounds of boiled pork. I bought enough so I could make lunches with it all. So I could have lunches at school this week. So, because I have a 4-day school week this week coming up.
Captain Busy says, bite me. So apparently you did not share with her.
No. Mizzy actually lives like 45 minutes north of me. So.
Oh, that sounds like excuses.
Yeah, she should have just drove down and got some. She wanted some.
Oh, shit. That's going to go well.
So.
There's a flag down a tree trimming truck and get free mulch. I mean, that's cool, too.
That's exciting right there.
I mean, if you like the yard work, absolutely. I'm not a super fan of the yard work, but free mulch is better than paying for mulch.
An entire pine tree's worth of mulch. Ooh, and pine. So it smells good.
Right now, for yard work, I live vicariously through my ex-roommate, Creekends, because she keeps taking pictures of her new house and all the stuff she's doing, which is super cool because she loves doing that stuff. And it always felt extra when we were trying to do it at the place we were renting. Now it's her place, and feels more like she's getting, getting rewards for what all the time and everything she puts in.
Good. Legionnaire says she likes to have a garden. I just want to keep the peace.
Hey, sometimes that's good enough. I don't mind doing yard work. It just gets harder the older I get.
Yeah.
Then I also got some resin because I had to print a bunch of chibi miniatures.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, well, I need chibi.
That sounds fine. Why wouldn't you print chibi miniatures? Like I tell you, I really want to get all the chibi Marvel models they have for whatever game that is and put them on bases from Atomic Mass Games and just play chibi Marvel the whole time and watch
You're
people's heads
not the
fucking
first
explode.
person who has said that. In fact,
Oh.
I was thinking it too, because those are super cute.
They are. That would be super awesome, and people's heads would explode, and I would think that would make me even happier.
Uh-huh.
Because some people are take stuff a little too seriously sometimes.
God, they do. I have a walrus. This is my walrus. I'm just, he's super cute.
Just got a walrus.
He's 3D printed. He's just a walrus. He's adorable. He's huge. I mean, compared to like 28 millimeter scale.
There you go, Raspberry X.
I
The
know.
Marvel United, apparently it is. Or it could be Untied. My eyes aren't that good. I assume United. Yeah, at this point, I'm a little deep into start getting all the models for it. But it always does come to my mind, like,
So, okay, I'll hold out my walrus and Little Lou, the little bone Sylvanian that I was painting, and they're right next to each other, but Little Lou looks like he's way behind him. But they're next to, look, I'll just put him behind him.
Yeah, a little better watch out. That walrus. Like,
Yeah. The walrus is hungry.
and walruses seem a lot like hippos, not to be trifled with.
Yeah.
Now. I'm looking forward to painting that walrus as walrusy as I can. I'm gonna get some reference pictures, and I don't know, maybe do it in oils, because then I can get that subtle variation of. I mean, I could do that with acrylics too, but it would take less time in
And
oils
better practice in oils, too. So, I
and
mean,
more practice. So I'm almost done with my cyberpunk girl, that Reaper 75 millimeters Scarlet Dust something, the
yeah, you're painting up like your friend.
Cyberite thing that yeah. And once I finish that, then we'll be returning to finishing off those busts with the oil paints. After that, well, I have a bunch of options. I have too many options.
I mean, we wouldn't be like gamers if we didn't and painters if we didn't have too many options.
There's so many models.
I know. So many awesome ones. So many ones you want to use.
So many things sitting here right in front of me waiting for. Some of them are primed, some of them are primed and they have the half-ass zenithal. Some of them are not primed yet.
Oh, yeah, Legionnaires, that's a good point. We'll bring it up during the main cast because people need to hear that because we're looking at a potential for a sellout per my sources.
Which also, it is now the 2-minute warning, guys. For everybody that didn't know, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We are not actually going to shut down the podcast today. We're going to just go to our Be Right Back screen. And like I said, don't forget, don't go anywhere. We are going to be talking about building your community back up, how to build a good community, and have a lot of fun. And I'm going to do some painting. So we will be right back. And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John. I'm also Kathy.
John is not back yet, but we will try to get him back. Guys, we're also making sure we've got plenty of audio and good things going on. Kathy, say something for me.
Something for me? Aren't we the same? Isn't this? Oh, this is a different scene.
Different scene.
This is a little bit of troubleshooting. Welcome to a little bit of troubleshooting.
We're just making
with
sure.
Gatso and Kathy.
We're just making sure everything's working correctly. Because we're setting up a few things a little bit different to try to help.
Legionnaire said still sounds good.
Good. Welcome to episode 163. John will be back in just a minute. Today's episode, we are going to talk about building your community back up. Building a community, if you don't have one. How to make a community, a good happy community, and how to help each other out, and everything. So before we do that, let's go ahead and get to our business. We want to thank Metalhead Minis, of course, for sponsoring us and hosting all of our items that we sell. You will see it pop up in the chat for our More Than Dice stuff, which also will have our Warfare Weekend stuff too, where you can get some cool widgets, flags, dice. Who doesn't need more dice? Oh yeah. So
I don't. I have them, but I don't need more.
Oh, yeah.
I have dice. I have dice right here.
We are a creature creator, so you will eventually see us paint up some creature caster models coming up. And then we want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting all of our audio files, so everybody can listen to us on all their different streaming devices while they're on the road driving or doing anything else. Banyan, I don't like you. And then we also want to thank Tectonic Crest Studios for hosting us and also providing us for giveaways, which we'll be doing pretty soon. We've got some more stuff. So other than that, I think that's all the business. John, we do have some shout outs this week. I know we do. What was the other one? Gave up hoarding dice for Lent. I do know, what was it? Beverly Clearly.
Me, but I didn't really know them.
Yeah. Beverly Clearly did pass away. I mean, she was 108, I think is what it was. They said she was pretty old. She wrote a bunch of kids' books.
I like the Beverly Cleary books.
Yes. So, I mean, that was a pretty big thing. Or 104. Still, 104 years old and everything. That's a long life.
Almost 105.
Almost 105.
My grandma hit the 100-year-old mark this month.
Man.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But I mean, Beverly Clearly wrote so many books and was like a ton of elementary stuff. So I mean, it was definitely there. George Siegel passed away. He had heart complications. He was 84. People don't know him. His recent work was done on the Goldbergs. He played the grandpa on the Goldbergs. He's done a lot of sitcom work. Yeah.
I only remembered him from being in Look Who's Talking.
Yeah, did that. But yeah, he I guess there was like some heart complication and he went in for surgery for it, and he passed away from that, which was kind of sad. I watched the Goldbergs because it's like an old 80s show, so it goes back to the 80s. So it was like really good. And yes, and the voice of Mallory, I can't remember her name. She passed away.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Well, they say celebrities are in threes. So, other than that, Kathy, I see you drinking, but is that your only drink of choice today?
This is my ginger tea. I do have a gin and tonic that I'll be working on, but, you know, ginger tea.
John, what are you drinking today?
Well, for shock of shocks, I'm drinking something non-alcoholic. I'm drinking a Shirley Temple because it's fucking tasty.
I'm drinking straight water because I drink and I need a lot of water right now because I'm a little dehydrated. So I'm definitely being a hydro homie right now and drinking a ton of water. If you're drinking anything, put it in the chat so we can find out and we can share what you're drinking. Guys, we appreciate everybody coming out and watching, listening, doing all this stuff because it is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. We like it a lot. Lou Ottens, the inventor of the cassette tape, passed away.
Oh, wow.
That should
For
have made
people
better
that
bigger news
are
than it did.
that aren't that old, a cassette tape was what, it came in a little, rectangle, had these two holes in it. If you had a pencil, you had to, help wind it,
I was going to
I don't know
reach
what's
for
more
mine, but
upsetting,
it's
the
like,
fact you said it or the fact that I think you actually did have to say that.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember when it was like, oh yeah, the Kathy's got a cassette tape. There it is. Making the mixtapes. And
cassette tape.
it was awesome when you had a deck on your car that you push the button and it fast forwarded to the next song in a cassette tape.
I never had that fancy of a.
Look, we all know
tape
auto
deck.
reverse was the best ever, so we just play to the end, then flip to
Oh,
play to the side.
auto reverse.
Shit.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
Yeah, I think someone said they were what does it mean to burn a CD? I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I remember those days too.
That's so much easier too. Now I just have playlists all over the place on various music places that I listen to music.
So, guys, we really appreciate it. Please take care of yourself out there. We'll start that up, and before that, cheers, everybody.
Legionnaire says auto reverse so you can hear the devil.
What?
Also, cheers. Cheers, everybody.
There's an app for that now. Yeah, which kind of cracks me up because they're like the cancel culture thing of like trying to get into the cancel culture of Dr. Seuss and everything. And I'm like, please. Everybody remember backward masking and D. Snyder coming in? John.
You started this. First off, there's no cancellation of Dr. Seuss.
No, there
The
isn't.
fucking estate is choosing not to publish any of those books, which don't fucking sell anyways, because they have his old stuff that's somewhat racist and shit in it.
Yes. That
Second
was the
off,
thing.
You need to stop calling it cancel culture. It's called fucking consequent culture.
Yep.
You fuck up, you get the consequences.
That was just something that was interesting that was brought up. They were like, we need to stop cancel culture because they're taking away Dr. Seuss and all this other stuff. And I was like, and it's the people that were trying to take away D&D and take away,
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. That's why
heavy
I'm
metal
always
and
a fan
all that stuff.
of Michael Stackpole, because he fought back against that way back in the day, and still, also had time to write some of my favorite books. D. Snyder going. People make fun of that. D. Snyder going before Congress, but D. Snyder came prepared, and those motherfuckers were not ready for D. Snyder.
No, they weren't.
They all thought like, I was some dumbass. He fucking brought his A game.
Yeah, he came in swinging and swinging hard.
That was, but aye.
So let me get this set up. So this week I decided to post one of my miniatures on Reddit because it was a printing page, and I was like, oh, I'm going to print this up. I printed this up and I painted it, and it looked pretty cool. For anybody that don't remember, it is this. Is the picture still in good? Yeah. And I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking on it because I have some stuff coming in that I'm going to test out, the little frost from green stuff. And I posted this up saying, hey, I did this, and it's all in contrast paints. And it became a shitstorm. And I was like, why should anybody care that I painted it all up with contrast paints? I like contrast paints. They're a lot of fun for me. I have a blast using them. And people were calling this guy out. I don't know if it's a guy, whatever, this person out, and saying, hey, who gives a shit? A painted miniature is better than a non-painted miniature. And he was just, I mean, he was just ripping and raving. I'm calling him a he, but about this. And I was like, why are we still on this thing of bashing someone for having using contrast paints? I mean, why is that still a thing? I gotta open up a package. Sorry, it's gonna be loud for a second.
Well, you can actually one up that, Gonzo. It's more than that. It's like they're saying in the chat, why are they gatekeeping? And also, why are you imposing your views of what the hobby should be on other people?
Correct.
The hobby is what you want it to be. If you want to play with unpainted models, that's your fucking choice. I don't care.
Yeah.
You have a good time? Sounds good to me.
Correct.
I would encourage you to paint your models, but if you don't want to, again, your business, not mine.
Correct.
Doesn't
Oh
make a
yeah,
difference.
I have absolutely. There's people who feel like I would somehow be offended or make fun of them or talk down to them or something because they don't paint their models or they don't feel like painting their models or they just enjoy the playing the game
Mhm.
more than they enjoy painting the models, and painting the models is just too much work for them. And I understand that, and I would never, tell somebody they were wrong for doing the hobby the way that they want to do it. That makes no sense to me at all.
Exactly, yeah, and that's sort of the thing, and everyone should. I mean, I hate piling on the internet, but sometimes you should just pile on somebody if they're just completely out there, you know. And you need to let them know, like, look, your opinion, sure, it's your opinion, but you're a fucking idiot. You know, I always say opinions are never wrong, but they can be idiotic. And that's an idiotic opinion that contrast paints isn't actually painting. It's like the old one I told this a couple weeks back about min waxing, how I had a problem with it, and Dave Taylor had to talk, and I'm like, you know what, Dave, you're right. It doesn't matter. It's their model. They're doing what they want. There's no great god of painting that's going to come down and smite them for doing it wrong. I mean, who cares? We're all having fun here.
Yep.
So I
you can
finished.
paint like Banyan and be fine. You can paint like Kathy and be fine.
Kind of hard to see the whole model. I'll turn it sideways. Finished him up completely. He came
Very
out really
cool.
well. The pink purple thing came out really nice. Well, the interesting part was one of the things the person said was a 9-year-old can take contrast paints and do the exact same thing you're doing. And I'm like,
Good.
okay, who cares?
And I have no problem with that. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
Me and that
That's a
9-year-old
good
can get
thing.
along well.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? If a 9-year-old likes that and the 9-year-old gets a painting that they appreciate, more fucking power to them.
Exactly.
There are so many people I know who have joined Warhammer hobby just because of contrast paints being able to spray the Wraithbone on, spray the primer on, and then just throw those contrast paints on there and get immediate results like where you can see definition of shading and highlighting.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though they're not shading and highlighting, you get to see those details more than you would have if
Oh,
you
yeah.
were just throwing some flat, probably too dark paint on the model like I did when I first started painting. If contrast paints had been around when I first started painting, I would have used the shit out of them, and I would have also mixed them with my other paints because I like to do that. I like to mix washes and paints. I like to mix glaze mediums and paints and glaze mediums and washes and contrast paints and washes, contrast paints and paint, uh, and experiment. But that's
So
that's
what you're
just
saying
me.
is that contrast paints has made the painting portion of the hobby more accessible to everyone?
What?
Yeah, even younger kids, and somehow somebody thinks that's a bad thing.
This is a person who is insecure about their own painting and upset because someone spending less time is getting better results. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Who
But I mean,
cares?
there was whenever these contrast paints came out, and I made the challenge to myself, all my marbles going to get painted with contrast paints, and I'm going to learn how to use them so I can learn how to use them to paint like some stuff quicker and easier, type thing. Do I still paint the traditional way? Yeah. But do I like contrast paints? Yeah. Which, before we get started on any more conversation, this is the model I'm going to be painting. It's, let's see, I may have to pull that out a bit. Because this is the Blackgate model that Privateer Press for the Infernals. I've got, of course, I did start it, primed it black, then put white over this fleshy looking area, then took the purple, the clear purple, and I did like a contrast paint with it, just slapped it all over it. And then I mixed in the pink with it, and put in more in there to give it a little bit more highlight. Because I just like really slathered it in really quickly. And then I went back and dry brushed a little bit of purple, and then put pink in the recesses, like a little wash, and then did a little bit of dry brush. And now I'm doing the runes, which is going to be kind of like this pinky purple in the robes. More pink, less purple.
That'd be cool.
The model's been really fun.
Hey, Just Isis is here.
Hey, Just Isis. So I put the white in it. I'm not sure I'm really digging the white ink for white so much on black, but, you know, not too worried about it.
To be fair, I don't paint any sort of white directly over black. It's always gray first.
Correct. Yeah, but I was just like, I'm experimenting with that ink because everybody was saying it was really, really awesome, and I was like, oh, whatever.
I mean, I'll find out soon enough. I got some right here.
So I'm going to do.
Gray, 'cause I think Legionnaires recommended it. Said it's good for shadows and all. So
I'm taking the white, the purple clear, and then taking the Vallejo magenta flow.
Oh, the fluorescent.
What Kathy calls the fluorescent pinks. And I'm going to make it.
It's
Oh, yeah, it's super, super bright.
And shake it. And when you think you've shaken it enough, shake it a little bit more.
Yeah.
you
Because it
put
does
a
settle.
agitator in there.
No, it's pretty big, and I've been shaking it, most of it. So I'm not too worried about it.
Not the size of it. Agitator's gonna help. Just saying.
Just saying. But I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'm going to do a lighter pink into this. So, but I mean, I thought that was, I was like, did I make that model and put it up so I could put it in a painting competition? Hell no. Do I care?
Full stop. Who cares if you did?
Yeah.
It looks good, and if it's the best, the judges will call it the best. Who cares what the techniques are?
Yeah.
And if it's not the best, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
As long as you're pleased with the result, that's the thing that matters.
Only
That
one
one-
person on this planet's got to like your paint schemes. It's that person in the mirror. You. People that don't like your stuff, fuck them.
But I was like, why are we gatekeeping people over using it? I'm like, why are you such a pretentious little prick? Who cares?
Oh, there's some deeper psychological issues there. Their self-worth is taking a hit because that model probably looks better than most of what they've done, and they're spending hours and hours, and you just threw some contrast paint
For
on.
years. They've been painting for years, and
Your
their
stuff looks
painted
better.
is
Like,
like-
look, when Creekins first painted her first model a couple years ago, it was at that point probably as good as the best model ever painted. What I do, I'm like, wow, that's good, cool. And I went on with my life because it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah, we should be building up our community, not taking down the community. And that's kind of what I was coming in with this, because I saw that, and a lot of people came up to the guy. I ignored the guy. I didn't give a damn. But a lot of people were like, "Shut the fuck up, you prick! Who cares? It looks good."
Remember that Reddit is still a community for those people. So someone coming in and throwing their bullshit around, you may not go on Reddit too much. It may not be a big deal to you, but that's where they hang. They don't want this kind of attitude. It gives Reddit the name it has.
Yeah.
You know, the impression. Everyone's like, oh, fuck Reddit. Reddit's a bunch of piece of shits.
Yeah.
That's not what they want. They actually want it to become their community because that's where they go.
Yeah. It was just something that came out. I was like, me personally, I didn't give a fuck. I put it out there. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people were really impressed of how the contrast paints did on a resin print, though. Because, you know, the resin prints sometimes they still have the layer lines depending on where they're at. And they were like, wow, the contrast paints really did good on that resin print. And I was like, yeah, I was really surprised too.
It is one of the few remaining problems with resin prints is that
There's that pink
layer lines hurt contrast paints and dry brushing, and that's some of the techniques we use a lot.
Yep. That's what my walrus has. He's got some layer lines on him.
So he's like an ogre. You got layers.
Yeah, he's got layers.
looking at me.
He's the cutest walrus, though. I can't wait to paint this. I have a little bit of
Oh.
cleanup here, though, because I can see a little bit of the filament stuff getting really rough on the bottom, the underside of the
Oh, it's an FDM print, not a resin print?
tusk. Yeah, it's FDM. There's a little spaghetti there.
Wonder if you can just sand it down a little bit.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Well, I figured I could take the file to it, or
Sandpaper probably a little better for something like that, but I'm not.
yeah, we've got those little emery stick things.
Oh yeah, that'll work. That's basically like sandpaper.
I say file, but that's just like my blanket statement for cleaning all the mold lines and everything.
Fair enough.
So I'm just doing this purple pinky thing, and I'm just slathering it in. I don't care.
Russ wants to know, what layer height do you print at, Gonzo?
For resin, I think the resin is 0.05. Oh, I missed a spot right there. I'm gonna
That sounds like a number.
0.05 millimeters, I think is what it is. It's the standard for miniatures, I think.
Inian says, I don't know, though. The blurry Gonzo is hurting my head. Yeah, you're super out of focus today, Gonzo.
Which one? My camera?
Your face.
My face. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. Is it the
Russ
autofocus?
says, most amazing use of layer lines I've seen is PLA casting. It ends up with the layer lines looking like awesome grain in casting if the angles are right.
Oh yeah, that's
A
cool.
friend of mine positioned something that was supposed to look like wood in such a way that those layer lines would end up looking like the wood grain. So yeah, and that did work really well.
Hopefully
Just a nice camera.
Meanwhile.
I took off the autofocus because that's probably what was doing it.
Yeah, your face is clear now. Unfortunately,
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's hard to see to do this because the camera's right here. The computer's over there for me to do the work with it. But I'm gonna have to wear my glasses to paint. So.
They haven't gotten magnifiers yet?
The magnifiers hurt my head. But these glasses are, just magnifying glasses, so they do the same thing, just
I actually magnifier work on stuff. At this point, even if I'm assembling, I tend to use them just because it makes things easier to see.
Yeah. But and it brought up whenever I was doing this, it brought up the fact of why diss somebody, because what's going to happen when little Johnny, that's brand new to the hobby, comes in, he sees these contrast paints, he can get a decent amount of painting done and looking decent, and you come in and you shit on him. And I'm not saying you in particular, I'm just saying, as a person.
And he's not going to realize, like everyone else, that you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
You might actually, if you're the first one he sees, he's going to be like, oh, apparently I suck, I'm going to stop. You're going to, because at a young age, they don't have the self-worth sometimes to realize that there's just some asshole being a dork on the internet.
Yeah. But even locally, if you know someone locally that's going to give someone shit for painting like that, you're an ass. Just plain and simple.
Yeah. So you would need to, this is sort of the positive community building. You would need to make sure when someone comes in and asks that, you sort of shoot that stuff down if someone starts being an ass about that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they're joking, you can tell, but most of the guys I know are pretty upbeat about that stuff. You know, it's funny that the least necessarily upbeat would be the Jason, who is one of our better painters. But he always, the first thing he does is ask is, "Do you want a critique, or you just showing it to me?" You know, because he wants a critique, he'll start laying in, not like mean at all ever, but like laying in, oh, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. But if you just want to show it, he'd be like, oh yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, looks cool. Keep painting, little dude.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you gotta be. I mean, you always ask, do you want some opinions on this?
What was that? All right, what'd someone say in the chat?
You're blurry again because you moved back away from the camera.
Sorry. I have to do it because this is what happened when I choose my background.
Have you tried just putting one of those fake backgrounds in? Can you get one of those fake backgrounds?
Hold on.
I don't know. The fake backgrounds use up more resource.
Surprising because they're static. They shouldn't, but you know, I don't necessarily know.
Am I stuttery now?
I mean, you're not. Yeah, you're stuttery, but it's not blurry, so it's less offensive.
Yeah. And if all you're doing is standing still, looking at your model.
Yeah, you can't even tell.
That is weird how that happens though, because it doesn't happen for me.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be some type of memory issue or something.
Oh, that's way worse.
Oh my.
Your whole head just disappears. It's like, you know what it's like? Your face just blends in with the background and the camera just goes, there's nothing here.
I don't know why it is. I've tried to like memory and resetting and all this other stuff type thing, but I have no clue why it does this. So.
I'm sure when we figure it out, it'll be like, oh, is this one stupid setting we didn't even think about?
Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Uh-huh.
Probably setting for like an HD or whatever. Because you want to see my face in HD, right?
Glorious HD.
So, but I mean, that was something that, I mean, some places are starting to open up. So people are going to start coming back in, doing this other stuff. And we need to start supporting people instead of just letting shit like that fly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this in everything. You know, it's from 2020 on, we're not silent anymore, people. We need to step up. Something's wrong, say something. You don't have to say something mean. You can say something nice, like, hey, man, give him a break. He's just showing off his stuff, you know? Or, hey, man, that's cool. You got your opinion, but, you know, lay off a little bit. Take him aside. Talk to him privately, saying, like, hey, dude, it's cool that you have an opinion, but try and present it in a nicer way because you're being an ass.
Especially for new people, because you're going to have a lot of new people start coming out of the woodwork looking to paint miniatures, play miniature games.
Looking to not be at home all the time.
Correct. I mean, there's a lot of people like, oh, this is a something that I would never ever do. Well, you mean I can get out of my house and go do this? Fuck yeah, I'm going to go do it.
I'm out.
So.
Yeah, but just say something. And again, you know, or, you know, not everyone's good at talking to people like that. Make sure you've got someone in your group who is good at that. And, you know, go like, hey, John, you're good at talking to people. That's your job all day. Can you say something to this guy? He's being an ass. Like, absolutely. I will tell him to not be an ass in the nicest possible way. Then if he continues, I'll tell him in a much less nice way.
Fenion says sick the John on them.
I mean,
Sick
it's,
of John.
it's technically what I do all day is be nice to people when they may not deserve to be nice to, but hey.
Got that customer service voice.
Hey, you know, at the end of the day, it's just someone who needs help. You know, even in this, it's just someone who needs help, who's not understanding. And there's a lot of pent up frustrations in people because the world is crazy right now. Absolutely crazy. I mean, there's a ship blocking the Suez Canal because you can't fucking pilot a ship.
Because the world is crazy.
World is crazy. We're all going to have pent up frustrations. Don't let that come out. You know, try and be nice to people. It's like, The words of wisdom of Patrick Swayze: be nice until it's time to not be nice.
Yep.
And someone will tell you when that time is. Say more
But
important, you will know unequivocally when it's time to not be nice anymore.
because going to the tournament and stuff that I went to, the tournament, War Machine and Hordes, and it really wasn't a tournament. It was just a play day. Get together, play the Brawl Machine format, and just get people playing the game again. We had 3 players that never play War Machine at our game store because it's usually 75-point hardcore, tournament style lists that came out and played. And some people were like, well, I won't play that because it's not a 75-point. I says, well, okay, no big deal. That's fine and dandy. But you know what it did? It brought 3 players back to the game to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a good thing. And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to be piling on the War Machine and Hordes communities, but I'm going to pile on the War Machine and Hordes community. Guys, get your head out of your fucking ass. It's the game. If they don't have 75 points, or they don't want to play 75 points, play at a different value. The reason you guys have problems finding new people to play is because you only play one way. And it's not entirely your fault. Privateer Press has set up the game like that. And it's a fucking terrible idea, and they haven't fixed it yet. But remember, there are other points values.
Yeah. And the thing is you could do 75. You could play the Brawl Machine format and everything, and these people are fine and happy with that. And I'm like, that's good, because you know what that does? Brings people to the game still.
Yeah. You need to if you stop getting people in the game, you will stop having a game.
Correct.
And I'm sorry that if they stop producing War Machine and Hordes, maybe they keep doing their other games, who knows? It's not a game that's going to last long because of the small people and the fact that people have already started to leave the game.
You need to build.
You need to build. You need to build positively. Someone says, I only have this much. Can you play me at this much? Play them at that much. Who cares?
Yeah, because
Every game doesn't have to be a practice game for a tournament.
Yes. I'd say even at the point where every game is a practice game for a tournament, maybe you are in the game for the wrong reason. Or maybe you need to make sure your reason for playing the game is clear and you shouldn't be showing up to a general play day, because that's a way to get frustrated.
Or let the person know that you're playing. Hey, that person's like, hey, I only want to play 35. I only want to play 75. Well, you know what? Even if you're a tournament player, you can still play a 35-point game, 25-point game, and still practice, because you're still getting muscle memory, as I like to call it, on your army. But what you're doing is you're fostering a good environment for the people that don't have that stuff. Because let's be honest, miniature gaming is not cheap. And right now, people are going to want to spend money, and they're going to spend it to have some fun. Let them have their fun.
Yep.
Legionnaire says, my problem with not playing 75 points is my main faction, Scorn, felt super hamstrung at lesser lower points when I played prior to Brawl Machine.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen, but remember, this isn't like a super serious game. You're just getting a game in with a guy. You're helping get them excited, get them into the game, so that eventually they'll build to the nominal standard play value. Because
I imagine, I've never played War Hordes, but I imagine every faction feels hamstrung when you're used to playing at 75 points.
It does.
There's a couple that actually feel really good at lower points. I made a couple of lower point armies for my mercenaries that were really fuck awful. Like, really good.
But yeah, the thing is especially with everything out there, you're going to have, in the next 5 or so months, you're going to have, if you're going to be able to be open, people that are going to be coming in and wanting to play games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sitting there playing your game and you're like, well, we play 75 points. How much is a 75-point army going to cost? Well, blah, 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 blah. It depends. And they might not have that, but you're like, hey, I got, like our store owner has almost every faction, and he can go, well, I can get you at 35 points in this thing. So you can get a feel of what the faction is like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See what. And honestly, when you're playing, just go. All right, cool. You know, we normally play at 75, but let me break out something smaller for you. Give me a minute to make up a force. That's all you got to say. You have acknowledged they want to play, told them you're going to play them, and even told them that this is not the normal value, but you're going to do it to help them get experience. They're going to appreciate that. You're going out of your way for them.
And like I said, I myself, I'm more of a tournament player. I like to play a full 75. But I went to this 35, this Brawl Machine event because I know it helps foster a good community environment. You get people that haven't played in a while that came in and they're like, I want to play. And they bring up, 25-point lists. And I'm like, cool. And I was actually nerfed because I was playing Infernals and I wasn't allowed to use one of my abilities. But
why weren't you? Is it because of the Brawl Machine format?
Well, in Brawl Machine, Infernals are actually banned. The Infernal Masters are banned, so you can't play the Infernals.
Wait, is this a official Privateer Press format?
No, it's not.
Okay, cool.
No.
So let me say one thing for whoever made this format up, respectfully. Fix your shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why I'm talking with them.
Faction, because you made the rules poorly. No offense. You need to fix it. You can say, oh, hey, it doesn't work right now. It's totally different. We're working on a fix. That's a perfectly good answer. Yeah. But fix your shit.
Yeah, because right now the Infernal... Because what Infernals can do is, one of their abilities is they can sacrifice a model and bring out a War Beast in place of that model. You destroy the model, and you get to bring out a War Beast. So, at 25 points, killing a 4-point model to bring out a 13-point model is kind of broken.
That does seem a bit broken, yeah.
And so what I did is I said, hey, can I play my Infernals as long as I don't do a summoning, which is, replacing, that thing. And they were like, yeah, let's try that out. And I was like, cool, because I've been wanting to play my Infernals. And so I did it, and Infernals did feel a little nerfed because of that, which is okay, because summoning a model is pretty fucking powerful.
Well, I would say this, and this is aimed at Privateer Press. If this is not balanced for lower points values, it's not your guys' fault. It's fucking their fault for making a busted-ass faction.
Well, so the Brawl Machine format is this. It's 25 points. Everything is FA1.
Okay.
So you can't have more than... You can only have, that one troop choice, so on and so forth. You're stuck to one of everything.
So, in the official rules at 35, it's like, what, 35, 50, and 75 are when you get your points for your tier bullshit?
No, that's changed up now.
What are the points at?
It's the same points, but it's not... The free stuff is a little bit different now. They're called requisition points.
And it's based off what level, what point value you're playing in general. Yeah,
35, you get 1 point. 30, so on and so forth, 2, and then 3 at 75.
Is there any change to the rule at 35 points inherently for Infernals?
No.
Okay. So they seem balanced at that point level?
Without, if you kept summoning in 30, yeah, they're fine. This is just a Brawl Machine format. Because in the Brawl Machine format, they're 25 points and you're FA1 of everything. So if you can only have one Juggernaut.
I guess as long as you only have one of that, Warby seems okay. I mean,
yeah, but
I'm sort of get behind it all because it seems like you're actually, and this is an important thing, you're actually on the other side of the building a good community is you don't exclude shit.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I was like, because they were like, well, test it out, let me know what you think, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And I played everything, and then I played a couple of games talking, with people. I'm like, all right, so let's redo this, but let me try this and see what was broken. See if this is broken. And it comes down to summoning is broken at that point level with FA1. But
so per Legionnaires, also all telekinesis casters are banned and all huge base casters?
Yeah, all huge base models are banned.
Alright.
The game is played at a very fast pace, too.
Do you want my opinion now, or
No.
shall we just continue on?
Let's continue on. But what I'm trying to, because that's a whole different show.
Abraham, they're talking about War Machine and Hordes.
A format in War Machine and Hordes.
It's not an official one. It was made by the local community to play faster games.
Yeah. Type thing. But what I'm saying is, these people that want to play and want to play at smaller levels, let them play at smaller levels and help them at smaller levels. If you're a 75-point player, and this is any game. I don't care what, if it's War Machine, Hordes, Marvel Crisis Protocol, whatever. If someone only has, going with John, if someone only has a certain amount of things, go down to that level.
All right, I'm going to throw this out there because we need to address this.
What?
They need to fix their Brawl Machine format because it is doing exactly the opposite of what you want. It is excluding things. If someone only has a huge base caster because Xerxes 2 looked so cool, I just want to have that guy on the Rhino, and I'm like, oh, you can't play. That is some serious bullshit they need to address.
This is something that they're working on, but
Cool.
This is not this, and they're only on phase 1 or their first thing, and there's a lot of things that they're still tweaking and stuff. But my point of the whole thing was, we got 3 people that would never have come to a tournament and would hardly have never played if we didn't have this format, because it is a format that is meant to have less models, more time to play, and more games. And it isn't a hardcore tournament, because it really wasn't a tournament at all. It was just play tournaments. It was everybody get together. I'm going to choose who plays who, and y'all play, best 2 out of 3.
But your point still stands. You want people to play.
Correct.
So they need to start looking at what they're going to do for that. Even if it's just, oh, hey, this guy's got another caster you can try out, stuff like that. But you're going to hamstring some things. You chose to be hamstring to take a look at that, which is cool. And I'm not saying the format's bad, but this gets to the point you're saying, building a positive community. As soon as your format, fan-made, bans things, it is no longer good for the community.
I think
good for a handful of people
what needs to be done is, while Brawl Machine was there, and people love it, people think it's a great format and everything else, for the new players, we need to just come in and go, what can you play? Oh, I can play 50 points. Okay.
Exactly. Or go, hey, Gonzo, can you hold off for a second? We got some new guys here, and I'd like them to play you because they can't play Brawl Machine because of this, or I don't want to introduce them to this format because it's completely off the wall.
Correct. It's the point that we need to make sure. The whole point of all this is, even though this was a different format and everybody came in, we brought 3 players that normally don't ever play because of the 75 point and super competitive part, that came out and played and had a great time. And that's what we need to do, because pretty soon we're going to be having people coming in, and we're going to have a lot of new people coming in too.
Indeed, and I want to make sure you and Legionnaire, since he's chiming in the chat room with us, whatever format you guys play is cool with you. I'm just telling you from a stand back, look at it, 1,000-foot view of what is good and bad for community, my opinion on that. Like, you guys, they may already have plans for everything. That's cool, but I just want to make sure my opinion of, for the people out there who don't know, oh, cool, no, you got to look at all this stuff. That's the hell of being one of the guys in charge of the community, is you need to look at all this stuff and make sure it's good for everyone. That's the big thing in a positive community, is making sure everything you guys do, every format you make, every house rule you make, everything like that is good for everyone, because it is for everyone. As soon as you start going, oh, what's not meant for you guys, you're starting to exclude guys, and that is what we never, ever, ever want to do. As soon as you start excluding people, it's a slippery slope. You want to make it good for everyone. And again, they may be working on that. That's all cool. I'm just, again, commenting on what it is.
But the main point of the whole thing was, we need to make sure we start fostering better communities, and better games, and better players, attitudes, not, who can kick the most ass, but Who cares if, Billy Bob loses every single game when he goes to a tournament or he goes to an event? Is he still having fun?
Yeah, well, so it's the spirit of page 5, not the wording.
Yeah.
Did he play his best every game? Yes. Awesome. Is he having fun? Yes. Then the job's done. It's all good. Everyone's playing their best and having a good time.
Yeah.
So Russ actually threw a comment in about 9th edition 40K he wanted a quick opinion on. So there's some armies at 500 points are utter shite but amazing at 1750 or 2000. You would generally play 40K at 1750 or 2000, usually 2000.
Yeah.
And vice versa with other factions who smash everything at 500 but epic fail at high point stage. So that is a GW problem, is a classic GW problem of they don't care. Like, they'll balance stuff to the best of their ability, but they're not going to put an extraordinary amount of ability. They're not going to put the same amount of emphasis on balance as many points levels as, say, Privateer Press would, because Privateer Press wants balance. Their game is based upon balance. War Machine Horde is based upon, or Warhammer 40K is based upon you and your buddies in the basement just having a fun time. You guys will figure out where the points work and all, and you'll play that, and do whatever. You have a good time. It's not meant to be the ultimate pickup game. And as much as we'll bag on War Machine Hordes, as long as you're in that tournament style format that people tend to play, it is a great pickup game because there's no question of what you're expecting and what you're doing when you bring it in. When you bring in 40K, though, I mean, even like in our local groups, we would have people come in and just have the most different views on how things go, because we played at the and Kathy would know a little bit about this from her time at the Chicago bunker. When you play in a bunker, you get people from out of town coming in at all times, and just suddenly you're getting pickup games with people from out of town, and it is surprising how many ways they got to do things. A guy who's like, "Oh, you're playing orcs," slipped through his notebook and literally brings his Dark Eldar force that's meant to kill orcs. I'm like, "Do you have like a different army for each enemy?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I do." I'm like, so there's different ways of doing things. But yeah, GW is all about beer and pretzels. That's why they are not going to get rid of the double turns in Age of Sigmar, because it's beer and pretzels. Like, sure, maybe if you guys are in the basement drinking some beer, having a good time, they win that roll. You're like, "Oh crap, you're gonna wipe me off the board now, son." And it's going to happen, and you're going to have a good time, and you're going to reset, and you're going to play again. Or you're going to house rule it because you're in your basement. So, yeah, I wouldn't give it too much thought, Russ. They'll work on it, but I would never expect armies to be balanced across the board. It's just not a GW. GW's never really been good at that.
What's our time, by the way?
What's that?
What's our time, by the way?
It is 8:49.
11 minutes to the meeting.
We've been rambling pretty good, so I was like, oh, dang, what time is it? And I don't have my watch or anything over here near me.
Multiple rants, and I'm stone sober. That's scary. Legion says he despises teching for an army. Yes, absolutely. That's terrible. But I will let you know that every time someone did that to me in the Games Workshop Battle Bunker, I handed them their ass.
Yeah, that's rude.
It is. You should not do that.
Yeah,
now,
there was one time someone said, "Hey, I want to play this caster and everything. Will you play me a game?" And he went and built a list to make that caster completely worthless. And I'm like, well, what's the point? Why did you tech against him? That's just rude.
So, another way to do that, if you guys are looking at building a pros community, is like, "Oh, hey, you've got orcs? Awesome. I got this anti-orc list I'd love to try out to see how it does." Be like, "Oh, yeah, sure, man. Bring it. Let me see what you got."
Yeah.
That's how you do it. It's the social contract. Communicate with your person. Yeah. If Kathy's like, "Hey, John, I really play Blood Bowl, but you always, wreck me with your orcs or something. Can you play something different?" Like, "Sure, I'll play something different. It's all good." You want to see how this works. Like, I'm going to try out this goblin team, but I don't want to get manhandled by dwarves because they all have tackle and fuck your dodge. Because that's what happens. They all have tackle and fuck your dodge. So I'll play something besides dwarves. Maybe I'll just break out standard humans or something. Just communicate with your opponent. Let them know. We did a lot of that in War Shorts. Like, "Oh, John, I really want to test against this list. Can you break that out?" "Sure, I'll break it out." Communication.
Yeah, don't ever tech for somebody whenever. Yeah, it's just rude. It's kind of reason why I like the MCP type.
Make it your normal list.
Yeah, That's the reason why I kind of like the MCP and War Machine and Hordes, like tournament format. War Machine and Hordes, you have 2 lists, and you're kind of playing list chicken with the other person. Okay. MCP, you bring 10 models, and then you fill out your point value.
Yep,
You can kind of tech, but it's not going to be perfect or whatever.
Well, no, you're teching more for the mission than necessarily your opponents. Actually, Malifaux is a good one too, because technically you call your faction and then I think your master, and then you figure out what you're playing as far as scheme and strategy, and then you build your list.
Speaking of Malifaux, did you read the new rules or anything? Because I heard they got new rules, new edition.
No, not new edition.
There's a new faction.
New releases, yeah, new faction.
I
Explorers.
saw something from
It's not
Adepticon
even
saying
really
it was
new.
like a
It's
new.
just actually getting their people now.
I thought they said that they had a new edition. Saw something from Adepticon, a post from them.
No, it's a new faction, the Explorers.
Yeah, an Explorer Society, yeah.
Oh.
So Legionnaires, actually our favorite with X-Wing was to play what we called Rando Calrissian, where we would take our cards and shuffle up and flip out cards with the fighters until we got to close to 100 points, and then we'd play that.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's super fun. Actually, with the newer sets they come out, they have little chits that have just the fighter type on it. So, like, I bought 5 X-Wings, I got 5 chits. So, nowadays, I just take all those, put those in a bottle or something, pick them out like X-Wing, pick out a couple, 3, make with that, and, like, oh, I need to pick another one because I don't have enough, whatever.
That would be...
It's super fun.
Yeah, that would be something like... I could see doing that at a convention, like a Sunday convention thing. When everybody's, everybody's done, being playing the hardcore stuff and doing everything and just, having a good...
Oh, Rando's super fun.
Yeah, I could see that being a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't own a lot of X-Wing stuff, just the few models I have, but...
I mean, do you want to?
Do I want to what?
Own a lot of X-Wing stuff?
No.
What do you got? Imps?
No, clones.
Oh, I can't help you at all then, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm a cloner.
Rebel Scum.
I am Rebel Scum, yes.
John always plays the good guys.
That's me.
Oh,
Also,
perfect.
I have enough where I could play a game.
That's all you need, honestly. For
Yeah.
X-Wing, just maybe and if you play it a lot, you'll buy a ship here or there. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, here's one more X-Wing because I wanted another X-Wing. And I tell you, and I'll just bring this on the topic, I miss the scenarios that were in the bigger boxes, like in the Millennium Falcon and all that. They come with scenarios. El Marshall and I one Saturday just played all the ones we could, and it was a fucking hoot. It was a good time. I wish they'd do more of that, but apparently the standard, and that's the thing, it's probably a whole nother topic we can go on to, is how standard formats can help kill a game.
Yeah. Tasty.
Not really. It's like chicken flavored rice mixed with Shirley Temple. It's not good at all, actually. I would advise against that. All right.
Where are we at
Anything else
on
you
media
think
section
about?
time?
We're at 8:55 to 8:54, actually. I mean, if you got something else to rant about, I can rant again.
No, I was just... my whole thing was... We have people coming out of the pandemic. And people are going to want to come in and play games. People are going to want to come in... And you're going to find a lot of new players. A lot of new people wanting to come in and do stuff. And we need to start fostering and becoming good ambassadors for the community and start doing that, because we've lost. You know you're going to lose people to the game. No matter what game you play, there's going to be people that are just never going to pick up the game again due to the pandemic. Then you're going to have, everybody coming in and wanting to, play all the stuff again. But for all the ones that we have that are new, bring them in and try to get, keep them. Don't,
What?
make them all disappear.
Just to keep people?
What?
That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who lost to video games or whatever. But, when people come in, you might have to start again from scratch. or close to scratch.
And that's what this play day was. Hey, we haven't played War Machine and Hordes in probably about a year. Everybody come in and just play, relearn, go through the rules again, have a good time. He just had it as the Brawl Machine format because it was an easy way to say, hey, this is how you build your list so we can all learn again.
Uh-huh.
Oh. So, let me switch over. Let's see if this camera's going to mess up for Banyan so he doesn't freak out and cry.
Good luck.
Look at that. I'll change my background so we'll do this all funky stuff. I'm going to try to figure it, because at one point he works it and one time it doesn't. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, Warhammer Worlds is a good, quick game, Legionnaires. Super cool. Oh, before I forget, I'm glad you brought up that, because it made me think of, what the hell is it called? Warhammer Quest.
Oh yeah, what was the thing
What
that
it's
you
called? The Old City. Hold on. Pre-ordering next, or releasing next week. If you're interested, buy your copy, because at Curse City, yes, it is very possible it is going to sell out.
Why?
Why? Because everyone wants it, and all signs are pointing to that.
Oh.
But sources who were named anonymous have said that it seems very likely.
Well, the models for the other Quest box were amazing.
Yeah, the models are all super awesome, too.
What models are in
I
there?
don't know about the game. I only played part of one game once.
Well, it's
Somebody that-
like it's a lot like Blackstone Fortress.
Oh, okay. A vampire ogre? That.
16 is just a regular ogre, but that's okay.
Okay. All right, so let's go and go with our media section. I have a plethora of things to talk about because I actually got through. But I want to talk about one thing with you three together. But I have one,
Plus,
two,
That's
three,
I'm
four,
not that heavy.
five,
I am, but I'm not that big.
6. I have about 7 things that we can talk about.
You wouldn't even listen to me. See how that is?
Yeah, I know.
Just ignore me. I'm gonna have to reevaluate my entire life. Get Gonzo ignored me.
Good.
All right, I'm done. Still awesome.
Okay. So the one thing is, so yesterday when I came home, I was like, oh, I need to just sit. I want to read some stuff and everything. So I'm going to watch something and see if I can try to like turn my brain off and just have some noise. Well, I finished already Stargate, the entire series, which I'll review a little bit later. But for some reason, John was in my brain going, Ninja Batman's on HBO Max. Ninja Batman's on HBO Max. So I put it on and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit here and try to watch this and read some stuff. And I was like,
No.
looking at stuff and I was like, hold on, what? I couldn't do anything but just set everything I was down and go, the fuck? The what? And like I said, I told them that this is a show that was written by 2 third graders high on crack trying to make the coolest Batman movie in Japan that they could ever think of.
No. You're not giving enough credit for the amount of cocaine they consume. To
But
that fucking
wasn't
movie.
it pretty?
Okay, I will say this much. I didn't care for the middle part when that new art style came in there. It kind of threw me off. Was it still neat? Yeah, it was, but it kind of threw me off. Was the other art style? Yes. It was freaking it was really good art. Definitely really
And
good
the
art.
music.
Yeah. Everything about the production of it, the art, the drawing, the combat, especially the boat scene, before the switch in the art style, all that combat and everything was cool. It was really awesome. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And I was like, this is, okay, I get it. It's Japan and they're going to go crazy with it and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, Yeah. I knew I was expecting wild and crazy anyway from what y'all two said about it. And then all of a sudden I went back to the new one, and then it went and uh, I finally said what the fuck when the monkeys came out. When the million monkeys joined up to make a super
Well,
monkey.
Gonzo, there are rules of Japanese movies where there is one monkey, there is more to follow.
Yeah.
And as soon as Robin dropped with Monchichi, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more monkeys.
And
The monkey flute. And then I'm like, oh, I know how this ends.
and
Monkeys.
the monkeys joined their own mega, they had their own Megazoid. And then the bats joined in for the protective armor. And I was like, holy fuck. I swear I told them, I said, I swear that they went over to a elementary school, got all the kids high. They all smoked cocaine, smoked crack and snorted coke and did whatever. And then they looked at the kids, goes, how can we make Batman cool in Japan?
Send them back to feudal Japan. Have all the villains make their own castles, which are also Stampas, and then they turn into giant robots, and then they form Voltron.
I absolutely love that the castles got up and started walking around.
Oh, so Leisure, so you said me and Ninja never addressed the question you had about Ninja Batman and Ninja Scroll. Look, you can't compare the two. Ninja
No.
Scroll actually makes fucking sense.
Yeah, it is actually.
Batman Ninja does not.
Nowhere in this did it make any sense of what was going to happen or going to be.
Had no idea what was going on the entire time, just that there were villains and superhero and Batman, and they were fighting against each other. That's all.
Yeah.
Super mega monkey.
Oh, no, Banyan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 made much more sense than this movie.
Yeah.
Much more.
Wait,
Yeah.
Damien has not yet seen Batman Ninja?
No, he just goes to his basement. Look, I can't make him watch movies.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the art is cool.
The art was great.
They need to make miniatures or busts of those supervillains and Batman.
There was a card game. They
What?
made a card game.
Did
They
they?
made a card game for it.
Holy shit!
Dave saw it at an anime convention. It was
But
the darndest thing.
the story makes no sense.
Yeah,
but
none.
The animation is really cool. The way the art concept for all the characters is cool. The music is really cool. Just know that it is
It's
utter
a very
chaos.
high production value.
The plot is utter
Still-
chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it
But the
is.
castles get up and walk around, so. And also small monkeys making one giant monkey.
Yeah, I mean, because, and then bats join too because bats.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cookie, we're talking about Batman Ninja,
Yeah, we're talking about.
as it turns out. Batman
Batman
Ninja.
Which is also on HBO Max if you care.
It completely. Cookie says, "Oh, it was weird. Great art, but weird." Right? That's what I said. It's utter chaos, but the art is amazing and the music is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that I had to ask opinions on how to rate it on Letterboxd. And someone suggested give it a low star score, but hit the heart for you liked it so people will watch it. I'm like, I like that. That's a good way of doing it. Guns, are you messing with cameras?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix something because Kathy likes to be centered, and I'm trying to make her centered, and I can't make her centered.
I can make me centered.
I'm telling you, Ninja John, you should be checking that out. It is, it's a thing everyone should see.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it was really, it was cool. The artwork was amazing. The combat was fun, but it made no fucking sense whatsoever. None.
Actually, the problem I think is it kind of made a pretense at making sense. It theoretically has plot, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. You should watch it. It is not the Turkish Star Wars. It has more plot than Turkish Star Wars, but that's just because Turkish Star Wars is another special thing. Those two together, you should see them. Just don't expect them to be good.
Correct.
Expect them to be worth watching once. Even though I've seen
Yeah, worth watching
twice.
once. Yeah.
Yeah, once is fine. But so that was my one that we all could get in on. But I'm gonna go with something that y'all all didn't get in. I did finish Stargate the series completely through. Finished it up, and I actually watched the 2 movies to finish up SG-1.
Oh wait, Gonzo. Space herpes for Batman Ninja.
I'm gonna give it plot like 3.5. For fun and originality and oh my god, what the fuck, 0 type thing, because it's a fun stupid ride type thing.
Average it out to 2.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's not too long. It's not horribly long. It's not whatever thing. So, but I mean, I enjoyed it. But SG-1, I finished everything of SG-1 done.
Wait. Cookie Mandia says SG-1 does not exist. Only the movie with Kurt Russell and James Spader. I disagree with that.
See, me too.
Having seen that movie only a few months ago.
I really like it. I like Stargate SG-1. It was a good fun ride. They made fun of themselves in every season. They always, had something there. Is it the best sci-fi series out there? No. But was it fun? Yes. I liked it. I thought it was really good. The ending season, the last season, you can tell that there was a little bit of time where they knew that they had to end the story and things just happened just because they had to end the story. And so it kind of got, oh, this character, yeah, and he's just shot and dead. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's kind of not where we're going with it. But they did do the movies to kind of wrap up all of those stories, which was good. I enjoyed it. Vala's one of my favorite. When she came in, it made the series a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. I think she was a lot of fun. When Farscape came in, yeah. And they actually made fun of themselves in Farscape with this. So it was actually even on their spoof episode, it was actually pretty good. Overall, I like the story. I like the characters. I like everything that was going on. Did it have flaws? Yes. Did it ruin it for me? No. I know that I need to watch some older series because I never watched Babylon 5 all the way through. And I know that that's something I need to do. So I'm probably going to jump on that.
You best get on that.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. I just never did.
I mind rewatching that. It's been a long time since I've watched that through.
When it originally first came out, I didn't have TV, didn't have cable, and I only got like an episode here and there, and I was like never into it. So I need to find a way to watch the entire series so I can just put it in.
HBO Max.
Is it on HBO Max?
They just remastered it and put it on HBO Max.
Oh, okay, so that'll be good.
Set the show with Tron on it.
But okay, so the overall of SG-1, I give it 1.5 to 2. Space herpes. Did it have some issues? Yes. Was it still fun and did I enjoy it? Yes. I really liked it even more when Vala came in because she added something to the show that wasn't there previously. So, Kathy, what'd you watch?
So, yesterday, because we were talking about this on my painting stream earlier, and I don't know if we talked about it last Sunday, but at some point the subject came up of old fantasy movies that we liked, probably because I was reading Conan, but then I said I haven't seen The Sword and the Sorcerer since I was a teenager, and I can't find it anywhere, so somebody found me a link to it in its entirety on YouTube. So I watched it yesterday, and the quality of the YouTube video is super shitty. But I can't find it anywhere. So, needs must, right? I watched that, and it was like ripped from the headlines of my Conan books. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was so cheesy. So, it came out in 1982. And I don't know, I think that's, when did Conan the Barbarian come out? Right before that? I think. Was it 1980, 81, 82, Conan the Barbarian? Wait, John's not here. He will not Google that for me.
I'm Googling it. The original.
You
You're
know,
talking about
I
the original
can't.
Conan, correct?
So anyways, this movie actually felt more like a Robert E. Howard Conan novel than while I love Conan the Barbarian, the movie, this movie felt more like the novels that I've been reading.
They both came out the same year, by the way.
And okay, yeah. And yeah. I like Lee Horsley because, yeah. So that worked for me. There was all the cheesy stuff. There was, it was Conan. It was just Conan. That's all you could say. It's just another Conan movie, but the main character was not called Conan.
This one with the triple bladed sword?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And he shot the middle one.
Sword. That was like the worst part of the. I looked at the sword the first time I saw the sword, like, that is the stupidest thing ever. And then it shoots the blades, and I'm like, wow, that even got stupider. But that's like the stupidest, cheesiest part. It's called The Sword and the Sorcerer. It's about as generic of a title as you could get, but I mean, that's what it's about. Wait, what's about to get its 1-year anniversary? Thoughts on I never saw the modern Conan film. We were just talking about that too. The one with Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a recent Conan movie. I'm so out of touch.
Not that recent anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either. I have standards.
And Beastmaster Legionnaire says, Beastmaster I want to watch next weekend. I haven't seen that in a really long time, and I in my head I feel like that's actually better than The Sword and the Sorcerer.
I'd agree.
Even though John hates it.
I would agree that it is better than The Sword and the Sorcerer, based off my recollections of both.
But I loved. I was happy that Sword and the Sorcerer worked for me, and because I'm reading these Robert E. Howard novels right now, I'm just watching this, going, oh yeah, that's very much. This is very much like the book that I'm actually reading currently on every Friday on this channel. I'm reading a Conan book every Friday out loud on this channel, and the one that I've been reading is very similar in storyline to this movie.
Yeah, I think Sorcerer is actually on the same collection I have with Beastmaster.
Aw, you just send it to me. I like it. Cookie says, question, Kathy, did you watch the Hercules movie with The Rock? No. I didn't even know The Rock did a Hercules movie.
Yep.
He did. I haven't seen it either. It got bad reviews, but I have a feeling that was because people weren't expecting what it was. I know a little bit about the plot. I heard some reviews, so.
Darkwing Duck and Break?
My other one, so we'll do one since I got a bunch more, and then we'll go to John.
You're gonna skip me completely?
Well, I'll do one and then go to you. How many do you have?
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Fine.
So I decided to watch the new Invincible on Amazon Prime, and Invincible's based off a comic book where this kid gets his new powers and becomes a superhero. This is a pretty violent superhero cartoon, kind of drawn very Saturday morning cartoon style. And it might not be for everybody. It is a mature superhero cartoon. Not heavy on the sex, but heavy on the violence and heavy on the gore. So if you like that, I'd give it a watch. I've watched the first 3 episodes because it's the only thing they've got out right now. I'm enjoying it. The writing's pretty good. The characters are good. The story's okay. We'll have to wait to see what it is. I'm going to give it a rating after the series, the season 1 is completely out, and we'll see how it is. So like I said, it's on Amazon Prime for free. Go check it out if you like gory superhero, teen superhero shows. Teen superheroes, not teen as in CW. So, okay. John, what's yours?
I actually watched The Last Starfighter.
Ooh.
Not the trailer that we watched?
No, I watched the actual movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time either.
I hadn't either, so I figured, what the heck? And it holds up pretty well. I mean, sure, the computer animation is old, but I think the way they did it makes it still hold up, because you very rarely have the people and the animation on screen at the same time to really disconnect your brain. You're like, when they're showing this, it's this style. When they're showing this, it's this style, and it actually works pretty well. I think it works as, I mean, it's a standard hero's journey, but it's just done well, pretty tight, and there's none of that cringy bullshit that some of those have. You know, the stuff they do for comedy is done pretty well on, so you don't cringe. It's more of like, you stupid robot. But I love the crap out of it. Robert Preston does a great role as Centauri. He's hamming it up to just the right point, but can still bring that gravitas when he needs to. There's a line where he tells the main character that if he just thinks he's a kid from a trailer park, that's all he'll ever be. And he delivers that line perfectly, because that's one of the big, points in the movie. But I love the crap out of it. The guy who plays Greg is actually the old man in charge of OCP from RoboCop, and you don't realize until you look up his IMDb. But as soon as you do, you're like, I can see it now.
Yep.
But he does a fucking great job through all that makeup and mask and everything. He puts so much emotion into his eyes and the way his facial features through that. It's great.
Yeah. What kid?
Did not want a Gunstar?
Yeah. The Gunstar was amazing.
For something that only had one movie, it is still one of the iconic space fighters, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they get to make that sequel. I'm glad the original writer got the rights back, or navigated the rights, and can start working on something, because I enjoyed the crap out of it. I'm going to give it... give it 1, because not everyone's going to feel the story, the hero's journey for a kid in a trailer park. I do like, actually, that he is fully an adult. They've graduated high school, it seems. Probably even closer to 21, since they talk about drinking beer. Though it's the Midwest, you never know. I hear they're a little lenient on that shit around there.
How did the special effects hold up? I haven't watched it in forever, but I remember
the stuff they do with the people is solid. They use a lot of models, only a handful of laser blasts to kind of go in there, and they hold up pretty well. The alien masks and costumes hold up solidly, but then the computer graphics technically don't hold up, but it's all the same style, so it never really bothers you. Like, if you've never seen it before, it might bother you, but if you've seen it, you know what to expect, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater when I was a kid, and I was like, this is the shit.
I went home and built a Gunstar out of Legos.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that show was... and that trailer, which you may want to link that trailer in the chat, John, of the one that you showed us, because that just brought back some cool...
Oh yeah,
things.
That's obviously that's what started. I sent it to my buddy Etsy. Easy way to find it. I sent it to my buddy Marshall, and when I did, he's like, I watched it twice already. I'm watching the movie with my son now.
I actually watched it twice, and just so I could see a little bit more details on stuff, because I kind of slowed it down on a few scenes and paused it.
All right. Gonzo? Or Kathy? Probably Kathy.
Shocking no one, today watched Tomorrow Never Dies. That's
I'm a little shocked. Just a little.
That's the Pierce Brosnan one that I skipped over last week. I was supposed to watch that last week, and then The World Is Not Enough this week. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I loved it. That might be one of my favorites.
Oh. It's funny because it's sort of like the forgotten Bond. Everyone sort of forgets it for the ones around it. It's not.
I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't that impressed with The World Is Not Enough. In fact, this one I liked much better.
I mean, I remember enjoying it, but I mean, after a certain point, some of those Bonds just mixed together.
Yeah, well, it's like we were saying last week. You roll a die nowadays to get your Bond film name, and it's going to have tomorrow in it, and it's going to have die or death or day. It just interchange all those words, and then you'll get the
we're
next
worried
title.
that Bond is closer to what Star Trek was, jokingly. Every other movie's good.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So I remember seeing this one in the theater, and I think that's the only other time that I saw it.
Yeah, I think I've seen clips once or twice. Otherwise, I've only saw it in the theater.
And I liked it then, and now looking back on it, and after having watched all these other ones recently, it was good. I liked it. Yeah, for me, this one is maybe one of the best ones. And then the next one happens.
And
then there's
Simon's in his face. The next one that she's gonna watch.
What's it called? Die Another Day?
Die Another Day, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the next one for next week. And so that's the one with the guy with the diamonds in his. I don't remember anything about Die Another Day. Now maybe once I start watching it. Oh wait, is that the one that has the ice castle?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I did see that in the theater.
Nice.
That's like the only thing I remember about it though. Ice Castle. Is there skiing? Of course there's skiing because almost every James Bond has skiing. Almost every.
No skiing in that one, I don't think. All the
Ice
stuff on the
Castle
is car. It has the bad guy gets his own sort of Bond car, and they have a Bond car fight.
Oh.
The famous.
I mean, it's not speedboats through the bayou, but okay.
I remember coming out of it and going like, for once, the Bond villain got his own supercar to fight against Bond's car. So, but I don't remember really liking it that much.
Oh, Cookie says worst Bond song ever came out of that one. Oh, and Kung Fu Hustle was on Netflix.
I think that was the Madonna one, wasn't it? Die Another Day.
That's what Cookie says. Madonna should be shot. I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know. Have you heard her cover of American Pie? She should probably be shot.
No one should do a cover of American Pie.
Well, she tried.
Except for Weird Al.
Well, he did a parody. That's different than a cover.
Okay.
Russ says Fast and Furious took the Bond car fight and made it even more action. Well, I mean, it is Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. Oh, my. All right. Well, so what do you give Tomorrow Never Dies? No.
Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I give it 0. I liked it a lot. There were many fun things about it. So 0.
Awesome.
Whereas the one that I did last week, I gave that 2, didn't I?
2 or 3, I don't remember.
Yeah. Also, well, let's go back to The Sword and the Sorcerer. That gets 3 as well, because it is super cheesy, and I recognize that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's a good time. It's fun.
Cheesy but a good time. That's a good tagline to put on the back of a VHS tape.
Russ, how many Bond films do you have? How many do I have left?
5?
All the Daniel Craig ones plus one last Pierce Brosnan.
5.
And then it's Casino Royale, the original one with David Niven.
There you go. Less parkour than the Daniel Craig one, I'm certain. Well, Gonzo, we can talk about yours, or I think we should actually talk about that trailer that came out.
Yeah, because we also need to remember we do need to watch The Last Dragon, which I
we did kind of forget. So apologies.
Spaced on that completely. But next week.
Yeah, next week we're watching The Last Dragon.
And what was the other one?
I think Lady B had wanted us to watch Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's like cheap on Amazon. It's only like an hour and change long. So
yeah, definitely. I've seen The Last Dragon. I think I can quote that enough. I didn't even have to watch it to really remember.
I will rewatch it.
Yes,
I can do a review of it right now and not miss a beat. That's right, Bruce Leroy.
Okay, so a trailer dropped this week, and it is Suicide Squad 2 that dropped. And holy fuck.
Yeah,
it is a red band trailer.
They got the right director for it. James Gunn unleashed to do his whatever he wanted. And it looks it's going to be a hoot.
And
the shark though. The shark though. Cookie says Stelota's King Shark. The shark.
Yes. Honestly, all of them were amusing. Or all of what I think are going to be the main characters. I have this feeling that half of them are going to die in the beginning, and then you're going to get the second half with the rest of them.
Correct. I've
It's Elba, the actress from I think she's from Portugal. Is from Portugal? Where is she from? There's an actress who's playing Ratcatcher too, who is she's got a lot of charisma, and she looked pretty charming and interesting, and I'm interested to see what she does. But Idris Elba, of course, Idris Elba.
Yep.
Harley Quinn looks like she's back to Harley Quinn from the original, which is good. I am not a huge fan of the Harley Quinn movie. It was kind of meh.
You have a personalized license plate? We kill you.
That was good. I think Idris Elba is going to be a great ad. And actually, it turns out that they actually wanted to have Will Smith back, but he had a scheduling issue, not they got rid of him for any other reason. Apparently he just had a scheduling issue and can't come back.
Yeah. There's Russ does say Kong versus Godzilla comes out this week, by the way.
Yeah, middle of the week.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be watching that.
Yeah, me too.
I really, you can immediately tell this is a Tim Gunn movie. You're just like, yeah, you can tell the humor, everything. The action looked great. King Shark was hilarious. I liked Harley in this one. I liked pretty much. The only thing that threw me off was what's his face playing a different superhero, because I'm so used to seeing him in Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember the actor's name.
Michael Rooker?
Yes.
He looks nothing like he did in Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, but I mean, just hearing his voice and everything, just hearing his voice and so on and so forth, is just like, no, that's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to him playing that character instead. But that just kind of threw me out, because I'm like, oh, cool, he's in this. Wait a minute, but he's okay. No, he's dead in there.
Probably.
It's comics.
Many of them are going to die. They're going to live with the Suicide Squad name.
Yeah.
I expect half of them are going to die in the first act. It'll probably be really awesome. But yeah, it looks good. The humor seems on point. Whoever did the editing for the trailer did a bang up job, where you get an idea what's going to happen, but you don't really know any details besides Starro, and that's funny for us old Justice League guys. So
yeah, I can't lose. Starro is the bad guy.
The trailer gets 0 space herpes. I've watched it multiple times already.
Yeah, I agree. It gets 0 space herpes for me too. It was hilarious. It had a lot of things. It had good fight. It had good comedy. It highlighted everybody nice. It gets the plot and teases just enough.
Without really just brushing away the first one. Like, first one still happened, sure, whatever, but here's what we're doing.
I feel like they make it apparent that there's going to be some stupid moments in it, but it's going to be stupid moments like the three-bladed sword in the, in the Sword and the Sorcerer, where you're like, yeah, that's pretty stupid, but it's
covered in dicks. They told me I'd eat every dick for liberty. I would do so.
You're like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
Oh, John Cena. John Cena's amazing.
I really want to see the blooper reel from this once it's all said and done. Because know that they cut themselves up and they were like, fuck. Cut.
It's going to be stupid fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's the way it's going to be. This is going to be a stupid fun movie with some good action in it. And it's just going to be a rip-roaring good time.
Yep.
Type of thing. Who do we have that we can raid tonight?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking.
Guardians of the
Legionnaires.
Galaxy.
Guns Akimbo is not one I'm looking forward to seeing. It looked a little out there for me. But after we get through the ones we have to watch, we'll take a look next week at what people are recommending and see if we can watch something together.
Yeah.
So guys, as my camera goes in and out again, I apologize. I'm going to try to get that fixed. We really appreciate y'all listening and watching and joining us over this. We're going to send y'all off to Zambies tonight. She's doing some painting and doing some artwork. We'll send you off to her. Guys, please take care of yourself. Please wash your hands. Please, look after each other. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night.
Good night.
Stick around for the raid and see what Zambies is doing. Here it comes. Click that button. I want to see everybody hit that button. Go in there and spam the emotes at her.